Is Jason Dominguez. I've been petitioning for a while, so I might have a few tips that'll help you gather signatures and circulate petitions. The main thing about the issue is definitely having full knowledge about it. So if there's any sort of rebuttals that you'll need to know, you'll have those on hand and quick. And definitely don't let the word no discourage you. You know, just because people don't want to sign doesn't mean they're not going to want to sign later. For this issue, the main thing is being persistent, you know, and let people know what kind of effort you're trying to make. Make sure people know that, you know, you guys are real supportive about the issue and that it's a serious cause, because a lot of times people go off of your energy and, you know, how important you make the petition seem to them as it is important to them. At the time, they might not feel it's important, but it definitely is.
I'm unemployed right now, especially since I used to work at Borders and it closed down. And it's kind of hard to pay for tuition when it's going up higher. So it used to be 20, it used to be lower than that. Now it's going higher and higher. I heard it might go up to 40, so that's not cool.
It's gone up to 46
It's
already.
going up to 46? Yeah, see, I can't afford it.
Sure.
It's hard enough as it is already.
And another thing is voter registration. That's going to be the key thing to having this issue qualified for the ballot. If you find that they're not a U.S. citizen, then you can just dismiss them and, you know, let them walk off or whatever, because they have to be a U.S. citizen. They have to be over the age of 18, and they can't be on parole. If somebody's on probation, they can still sign, but if somebody's on parole, they cannot sign. If they're going to be 18 before the deadline, is with this petition, I believe the deadline is April 15th.
Yes.
April 15th. So if they're 18 by April 15th, they could sign. If they're
Jason, question for you. How has your experience over the years helped you to become so efficient at signature gathering?
I don't let anything discourage me. You know, I'm out there to do my job, and as long as I feel confident that I'm doing my job, I'm happy. And I think for the most part, people are willing to help. They might not have the most time in the world, but, you know, if you just stay persistent and, you know, have a little bit of humility, I guess, then, you know, they'll be more willing to help. The issue does help. You know, a lot of times people are kind of more so trained to not really care about petitions, or have this instinct that petitions are negative in any such sort of way. So if they just feel, or they hear at least, that, you know, there's a positive social change, then I feel that they'll be more willing to help, you know, than they would be.
What do you say to people to get them to sign the oil extraction?
What I first say is, I'll say sign a petition to help your school, you know, which kind of gets them to like, okay, help my school, all right, sounds good. And then one is to get more school funding, you know, because we are going to be going through a series of budget cuts. So there's going to be a need, you know, for more school funding so programs aren't cut, people's educational experience isn't, you know, disrupted in any sort of way, and they don't have to go, you know, from plan A to plan B. So, and also that it takes nothing but a second, you know, not too much time involved, unless they have to register to vote. You know, a helpful hint when registering somebody to vote, to help them out, because if you ask somebody to register to vote, they're not going to want to do it. Like, there's no way. If you say, would you like to register to vote, the way people think nowadays is no. Like, I don't want to have any part of that. So generally what I tell them is, it's okay if we update your voter registration so we could qualify the initiative, because the last thing we want is, you know, to get, like I said, the necessary signatures and then find out people aren't registered. And generally they say yes. And then so what you could do is you could fill in their date of birth, their place of birth, and if you want, their first and last name, and then all they have to fill out is their address, signature, and either their ID or driver license, or the last 4 digits of the social, and political party, and it makes it a lot easier to, you know, for them to register and move along, instead of them just looking at the voter registration like, wow, I have to do all this. No, you know, my main focus is the voter registration, because without that, you know, there's no validity to the petitions, and that's the main thing. You know, it's first you get the signatures, but then a certain percentage of them has to be valid, which I believe is like 75%. You know, they have to be valid. So number one, you're going to ask, what's your date of birth? What state were you born in, California or another? Or sometimes if they were born out of the country, they might still be a U.S. citizen. And just ask everybody, you know, don't feel the need to not ask certain people, because the person you least expect to be a U.S. citizen will be, and the person you expect to be a U.S. citizen won't be. And so if you get that information, the next thing you want them to do after they're done signing the petition, make sure they sign all the petitions. Have them fill out their first name, their last name, their address, city, state, and zip, and if they live in an apartment complex, Mr., Miss, Mrs. is optional. They don't have to do that. But you do need a date of birth, the U.S. state or foreign country of birth, either the ID or a driver's license, California only. It can't be a Florida or out-of-state license, or the last 4 digits of their social. Phone number is optional. Email is optional. They do have to have a political party. If nobody wants to be in a political party, they just put no, I do not want to register in any political party. If they've been registered to vote before at a previous address, they fill in their previous address where it says to do so at the bottom. And then it's really crucial and imperative that there's nothing left undone on the voter registration, because that will disqualify the signature, as well as make it harder to qualify the initiative for the ballot. And once you've done that, there's a number on the bottom of the voter registration, and that number 49ZD493338 is the ballot number for this voter registration. So that has to go next to the name on the petition in the white box to the left of the signature, and then so that'll notify the proponent that this person has been registered to vote. So when they check the voter rolls and they don't find that name, they don't cross that signature out, because what they'll do is take a big black marker and cross that name off if they're not registered to vote. So that's how imperative qualifying somebody for their voter registration is, because if not, like I said, you're just going to get the number of signatures necessary, but the validity is going to be wrong. And so after that, you just rip off the bottom of this part. You rip it off, and then this goes to the person that just registered to vote and signed the petition. This is their receipt, so they're aware that number one is real, and then they have their affidavit number right here. So that's pretty much how you fill out a voter card. So remember, you're going to need first name, last name, address, city, zip, everything filled out in full. Sometimes people think the last name is on the top because that's how they're used to seeing government official forms like, but it's not. It's your first name, your last name. And what you can do too, also to help, is just highlight the designated areas that they need to sign, because people will mess this form up and then it'll be hard to fix it, and then it's hard for the voter registrar's office to read and file them. And what I would recommend is that Secretary of State voter registrations are used. I have a Sonoma County one. I was using this for San Francisco. You can do that, but it's better if you use the Secretary of State, so it doesn't take as long for the voter registrations to be processed.
Well, why don't you talk about, like, how many petitions you can get if you're good at this?
I would say,
students to.
Yeah, I would say number one, don't shut up. There shouldn't be a moment in time when you're not doing something. Normally, like on a good day, I'll have 9 to 10 people signing at one time. So that's the need for boards. You could get a piece of cardboard or a foam board at Staples or Office Depot or whatever, and you could just cut up boards to make your own boards. So say if you got a foam board that I don't know the correct size of it, but it might be you might get 3 rows of boards. So this might be a foam board. So if you cut it out, you might have 9 boards out of one.
Yep.
And then also when you're done signing the petition, generally speaking, the voter cards have to be turned in within 3 days. So what you can do is you can just fold them. There's a little sticky part, I believe, right here. You could lick it or wet it, if you don't feel like licking it. And then just fold them inward, and then you could just drop them in a mailbox, and then they'll be sent to the address that's listed on the petition. So that's pretty key. These have to be out within 3 days, or at least within a week. And also they have to be I would recommend that they're photocopied. Usually what I do with these, I had them photocopied, so all my voter registrations are turned in, but at the same time, I have a record of the people that register to vote, so they don't think there's any kind of voter fraud. And the easy thing to do is when you're done registering somebody to vote, say I just registered somebody, an easy thing to do would be to take the voter registration and then just put it underneath the petition. So when you go back to do your paperwork, all your voter registrations are with the petition. When you're done with that and you have your affidavit numbers in the column next to the name to let them know that these people were registered to vote, you would then sign the declaration of circulator, and it's to be written in the person's handwriting that actually gathered these signatures. So what you'll do is you'll print your name, the city that you live in, your address or wherever you live, and then the first date is going to be the date you started gathering your signatures. The last date is going to be the date you finished and filled out the form on this petition alone. So every petition paper and pamphlet is different. All the dates will be different unless you got them all on the same day. The execution date is the date that you finish gathering the signatures on this one page, and then you put the place of signing. So today would have been San Francisco, and your signature will complete it. On this one, there's nothing else that you have to sign on the back, so that's it. And number one, that's imperative too, that you fill out everything completely. Otherwise, the whole thing is bad. They won't count it. They probably won't send it back to you. They may or might not, but who's to say? They will. And your county goes here. So wherever this group of people live at, the county for their cities go here, and they have to all be in the same county. There can't be any mixed counties. So if I have 6 San Francisco and then number 7 is Daly City, that one's going to be no good. So you're going to want to cross that out and make sure that all the counties are the same. Otherwise, some signatures are not going to be good. So signing with you might take a good 5 minutes. Another person might take a good 10 minutes. So the need to just keep asking people, even while you're having this person sign, having this person do this, having this person do this, take a moment, hey, you over there sign my petition, because they'll see you working with these people and then feel comfortable because there's other people doing it. A lot of time people play follow the leader, and just because they see somebody say no, they'll say no. If they see somebody say yes, they'll say yes. It's just... Hey, can you guys sign a petition to help out your school so tuition fees don't go up again? We get more funding? Take a second. You live in San Francisco or somewhere else? San Francisco? When was the last time you voted? You ever voted before? About 2 years ago? Have you moved your fees? Okay. You haven't moved to change your name since you got here? So basically, they're trying to get more funding. Hey, can you sign a petition to help your school? It'll take you 2 seconds to help get more funding. You live in San Francisco or somewhere else? Yeah. Have you ever voted before? Okay, but you're over 18, you're a citizen, right?
Application is on their phone, so we need to fight.
Hey, what's up, man?
In order to get money, we need
to get more funding?
implement the tax.